Wise Warriors, let's go. Let's get it. Wise Warriors, let's get into it. That 5 minute mark. Remember, have that notification on, that doorbell. Also, make sure you sub up. It's worth a share. I appreciate it. More importantly, it's time to get focused and get in tune with what's relevant. That's the key ingredient. So let's get into it. Let's go. Let's get focused. Let's stay focused. And we're going to give it to that 5 minute mark. And we're going to do what we do. Yeah, Wise Warriors. So today we're going to get into phase 2 of becoming a wise warrior. Now, this is going to be a little different from what we did yesterday because we're going to really dive deep into another aspect of being a wise warrior and becoming a wise warrior. Because due to the facts, there's a lot of wise warriors out there that are not able to tap in on the internet, or we're not able to interact with physically the way that we used to, or the way that we became accustomed to. And that's relevant. And that's what I'm going to get into this evening or this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're tapping in from or what part of the planet you on. All right, Wise Warriors. So like I said, I'm going to just give it to the 5 minute mark to see who's going to tap in and check in. And we're going to take it from there. We're going to see who's where and saying what and doing what, and we're going to move from there. So I'm just going to give it to the 5 minute mark. And then we're going to get into the content. A quick PSA though. Remember, Wise Warriors, we on the rise. It's our time. So when you check in and when you tap in, have that seatbelt on, strap on, and we're going to do what we do. All right, Wise Warriors. And I appreciate everybody who's been tapping in and leaving comments. In particular, the Wise Warriors that was waiting for me to get to this point where I start speaking to the Wise Warriors out there on the planet, because they everywhere. It's not just an America thing. Other countries, they everywhere. It's not a gender thing, or it's not a race thing. It's just Wise Warriors in particular. They know who they are, and a lot of them now are starting to embrace who they are. So I appreciate that. Also, I appreciate those looking to become wise warriors. You know what I mean? So thanks to everybody who's been checking in, tapping in. And once this platform become monetized, I'm having memberships for everybody, but in particular for the wise warriors. And I'm going to have some exclusive things that I'm going to be sharing with them when they become members, certain books and pamphlets and just other things that's going to come with that membership, in particular for the Wise Warriors, so we continue to grow and build a strong network and a strong platform. So I appreciate it, Wise Warriors. All right, so we just about at the 5 minute mark. So shalom, peace and power. Assalamu alaikum. Remember, Wise Warriors, stay focused, self-control, self-respect, self-awareness, self-accountability, self-trust, self-love, self-respect. All right? So now, let's get into this content. Okay, so now, phase 2 of becoming a wise warrior. Remember, you have a lot of wise warriors that are cancer survivors. You have a lot of wise warriors that done made it through sickness, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, lupus, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So you have some wise warriors that have made it through those process and have made it through those transitions. And that's part two of this whole phase into becoming a wise warrior, because you're going to be placed with that adversity at one time or another in your life. Like you're going to have to prosper through some sort of sickness, whether that's physically or mentally or spiritually. And ironically, the spiritual part will be phase three, but right now we on phase two. And phase two is the physical sickness. So we have a lot of wise warriors on the planet that are cancer survivors, like I said, that done been diagnosed with diabetes and other things, and they have made it through that process. Moderator tapped in. What's going on, Carl? I appreciate you. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate you. Thanks a million. So we have a lot of wise warriors that have survived through the physical aspect of it. Like I said, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. They don't recover from a stroke or heart attack or high cholesterol, like I said, lupus, and other various different physical sicknesses they have survived and made it through. And that aspect alone makes them a wise warrior, because now they were strong enough to not panic and stay strong mentally so they could get through something physically. So now they're going to have enough intellect to share that story with the world, or share that story with a loved one, or share that story with somebody who may be going through something physically. And at times when you go through things physically, it can get your spirit down where you like, I don't know if I could survive through this pre-diabetes stage, or having diabetes or type 2 diabetes, or recovering from a stroke or heart attack, or whatever other physical ailments you might have to go through, a broken leg, a broken arm, surviving a car accident, surviving being addicted to drugs, being an alcoholic, because you got to get through these things mentally to make it past the physical hurdle, but it's mentally first. So phase two of becoming a wise warrior is acknowledging that may occur. And you could be doing everything you need to do to keep yourself in shape, or eating right, or having the right diet. Just things can happen. And at times that can get us down mentally. And now when you get down mentally, the fight to get through something physically becomes a little more rough, because your mind now gonna always think about what's wrong with you, and you're gonna want to get right, but it's gonna be in the mind and in the brain first. So again, that's phase two of becoming a wise warrior, knowing from a mental perspective, you got to fight off things physically. And I know plenty of people that done survive cancer, that been living with HIV or AIDS or diabetes, or that survive various different forms of cancer, lung cancer, leukemia, pancreatic cancer. It's like it's so many, breast cancer, it's so many variations of cancer. And that's important, just like it's levels of diabetes. And it's not only that, people have survived getting an arm amputated or a leg amputated or fingers amputated. You know what I mean? So those are wise warriors as well. And when you get to phase two now, it's time to acknowledge them and acknowledge that and give them their flowers, because they might not be able to get on the internet, or they might not be able to physically interact the way they used to, or have that conversation and get deep in depth, because some of them, even though they survive, they don't even want to relive that from a mental standpoint. Like they might break down, get emotional, having to share their story. And for those who have made it past those hurdles and willing to share the story and willing to give others the information, their process of what it was like to whatever they may have survived: cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, any form of cancer, a stroke, a heart attack. And that's not something that's easy to want to share with somebody. However, they're still wise warriors. And just because they're not shouting and crying about their plight or their process, don't mean they shouldn't be giving their flowers. They should be. And a lot of times we live in life, we so caught up in, we got to pay rent, we got to pay car notes, we got to take care of our kids, we just got to take care of our responsibilities with everyday life, that we kind of overlook they going through that, or they been through that, or they living with it, or they living in it at the moment. Because it's like, I got to pay this rent, I got to pay this mortgage, I got to take care of my kids, or I got to do the right thing for my family. Grant that, no problem with that. But it's still people every day, all day, that's either going through it or being diagnosed or recovering from it every single day. And that's all on the planet. It ain't just restricted to one particular country. That's anywhere and everywhere. People going through that. And that's important to acknowledge that. So therefore, if something get told to you about your physical health, you know that there's other wise warriors out there that been through it, that lived it, and that survived it and made it. And you never know when you're going to see or hear from one of those wise warriors that's going to tap in and say, look, I done survived cancer. I done recovered from a stroke. I done recovered from a heart attack. You know, I've been living with lupus, or I've been living with this for so long, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or whatever it is. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm a recovering drug addict. Those are wise warriors as well. It's not just the ones who went through things just in life with family, or being homeless, or having financial problems. No, it's people that recovered and still recovering, or made it from diseases and any type of sickness as well. And phase two of that is acknowledging that and acknowledging those people. And for me, it's gratifying that I know people that have recovered from everything that I just mentioned. And everybody process and plight was different, but I appreciate that some of them people shared their story with me. They shared their journey with me. And they let me know the path they had to take on that journey to get to where they at today for their recovery process, and what their process was like on a daily basis, how their diets had to change up, various different doctors they had to go to and through, and had to get third and fourth and fifth opinions about something they was diagnosed with. It's like, okay, when I first was told I had this, I went to another doctor. Then they had to deal with various different specialists, because the process of finding something out is not simple. So it ain't just something to take for granted. It's something to really reevaluate where you at in your life, and being a wise warrior, even becoming one, but learning and appreciating that it's levels to this. It's like people have survived catastrophic things. So for you to just be overly concerned with just not having enough food or not having enough money or not really having a place to stay, but it's somebody right now that's fighting a cancer battle or fighting a battle with a stroke or fighting a battle with a heart attack or fighting a battle with something physically that they might not be able to win that battle. And I'm not saying being homeless or not having money or not having food, it's not a battle. But that's a whole nother beast when you fighting cancer and when you fighting a heart attack or when you fighting stroke. Like your body, should you recover, may not even ever be the same after that. Your brain, your heart, your lungs, your liver. So it's not just cancer or diabetes or high cholesterol or high blood pressure. It's okay, you can have cirrhosis in the liver. It's cataracts. It's so many different diseases that people battle on a daily basis. And some people believe or see it as because they're not going through it, or they don't know nobody directly going through it, that I ain't even worried about that. Or it's an age thing. Like disease don't worry about an age. It's babies that be born with deficiencies. It's kids that get diagnosed with diseases. So it's not an age thing. You don't have to be of age. You don't have to be 40 or 50 or 60 to find out about cancer or to find out about some sort of liver disease or a lung disease or something like that. Nah. Mm-mm. You don't have to be of age. Disease don't have an age on it. And that's important. And I value that every day. Of course, I need to focus on my health and I can get more healthy, but I'm thankful for the health that I do have. I'm thankful for the health that I do have. Because I know people that don't have as much health as I have. You know what I mean? And so many people get to worrying about money and other things that they overlook it and it started to get taken for granted. Or they don't want to think about it because it's like it take them in a place they don't want to be in emotionally or psychologically or spiritually. It's like, seeing somebody sick can get somebody's spirits down. Or psychologically, you're like, man, I can't see a loved one like that. And I get it because I had loved ones that went through a lot of various different scenarios with being sick. However, I never took for granted the fact that I could be in that situation. I never took that for granted because I get it. I get it. It's not something to just be like, whatever to. Nah, you got to hone in and pay attention because it is important. It ain't something to just overlook. It's something to analyze. It's something to pay attention to. It's something to analyze and pay attention to because people deal with this every single day. It's not a day go by somebody's diagnosed with something or somebody's recovering from something or somebody looking to get through something catastrophic in regards to their health. So phase 2 of becoming a wise warrior is serious. See, phase 1 was just that walk you had to take to start your journey and to see the path that's meant for you, only you. But phase 2 now is embracing that it's wise warriors that have to and had to survive a lot of various different physical elements in regards to sickness to be where they are today. And that's what phase two is about. And that's what this whole live stream is about today. Phase two, but phase two is a shout out and a salute to all the wise warriors who have made it through physical ailments from a catastrophic level. Any type of sickness, it don't matter what that is. Don't matter what that is. Because I learned now, they're not going to take this thing called life for granted. Even if they did prior, they're not going to do it any longer. Every second of their life is important to them. And they don't have time to waste. They don't have a breath to waste. They appreciate everything that's in their life. What they do have is so important. It's so important. So they're not going to be so focused on what they don't have. Of course, they know they can get more and they need more, but that's not important. It's not relevant. What's relevant and what's important is that they actually got life. They actually got strength. They actually got breath. So if they don't have food at one time or another, it ain't going to bother them like it did prior to them going through whatever they went through physically with the ailments that they learned. Or if they might be backed up on a bill or two, it don't bother them the same no more. Because when you go through something with your health, those things you put on the back burner. So I'm learning that I do that now. I don't make those things a priority no more, because any day myself or someone that I do have a lot of love and respect for could be diagnosed with something. And now those things that I probably was putting effort and energy into, they're not that relevant any longer. They're not that important. So why not cut the world off now? So should something like that happen, I could be all in. I don't have to work on cutting the world off. Because what I'm really doing, I'm cutting myself short or that loved one short of the time and the dedication I could put in anyway. So I'm going to cut the world off. So if I have to be all in with a loved one, it's nothing. I got to be by the hospital bed, or I got to build a better relationship or rapport with the doctors, nurses, whatever facility they may be in. And when you start to go through that, another thing, wise warriors, it could be side effects from the medication. So now the doctors got you on a regimen, you're looking to get healthy, and now the medication, it could be side effects from that. So everything else went the way it should have. The surgery and or the operation, but now the medication. So it's always something that you got to pay attention to. It's always something. It ain't just the operation and or the surgery. Okay, you could make it through that. But now the medication, it could be side effects from that. So it's going to always be something. It's going to always be the next thing you got to pay attention to. So that's why I'm not so in tune with the world, because again, if someone needs me and they going through something physically, I got to be mentally and spiritually prepared for what's going to come with that. What's going to come with that? Like I said, they can make it through the surgery and or the operation. So now the medication, it may be a setback or two with the medication. Their body might not react to the medication the way that it should. Or they might don't have the funds for the medication. It's going to always be something. And I get it. Life ain't perfect. So it's not about that. It's about being mentally prepared for these things. So when it does happen or it come up, my mind was already in tune and prepared for a doctor to say, this medication, this may be the side effects. Like I said, make it through the surgery or the operation or whatever the therapy process may be. You make it through that. Everybody don't even make it through that. The therapy aspect of it, or the surgery aspect of it, or the operation aspect of it. Okay, but should you make it through the therapy, the operation, and or the surgery? Okay, now the medication, there may be setbacks with that. So you get through all of that and you make it through the medication aspect. That's right. So now environment. It don't just, okay, you made it through all 4 or 5 of those things. Environment. Got to be in the right environment to get healthy as well. That's relevant. That means something. The environment you're in have to be in the right environment. The atmosphere is important when you're recovering from something, because like I said, if you make it through the surgery and or the operation and or the therapy aspect of it and or the medication, there's no setbacks. Now the environment you in. So when you recover from something, you have to be in the right environment. So it's so many levels of recovery when you're going through something physically. Like I said, for some people, they may just think, okay, well, this person is sick and okay, they got to have surgery or operation. Okay, they make it through that. Okay, no problem. Next would be the medication and or the therapy. Okay, you get through that. So now the environment. How's somebody going to get better? They're not in the right environment. They need things to be peaceful. They can't always be around noise or yelling and screaming and arguments. You can't be around that because they got to heal. And mentally, your spirit, along with your soul, along with your mentality, all got to be at ease. And that's important because I done seen it where, okay, they made it through the surgery and or operation aspect and the therapy aspect, and then there's no side effects with medication. But now when they got back to whatever the environment was, that made them get sick again because the environment wasn't right. Too much noise, too much traffic, people in and out, people not wanting to clean up, people not wanting to stick together and get along, and forgetting that it's a family member or a loved one that's sick and they can't really be around that. And that don't make the people that was around that family member or that loved one, that don't make them selfish. However, it's not making them aware though. You have to be aware that, like, you know what, cousin so-and-so or aunt so-and-so, uncle so-and-so, or my pops or my moms or my husband or my wife, they ain't no need for them to be around that. And sometimes people get so overwhelmed with I got it. They forget that. And it's like in the process, but I'm saying that they need to be in the right environment because they're recovering for them to get back healthy. And they don't have to be as healthy as they was prior to the situation, but just having them in the right environment though. Like I said, I experienced this firsthand with a few loved ones, with a few family members. Like they got through every process, but now the environment prevented them from getting back healthy. And it's nobody to blame. It's just the awareness of the situation. It's nobody to blame, but however, the awareness factor, being aware, like, I can't have them around that. And sometimes it may take for somebody else that's in the environment to say, you know what, I gotta fall back. It took for me to realize that. Becoming who I was becoming as a wise warrior is like, you know what? I can't tell Jane Doe or John Doe to do what to do with their apartment or their home or their house or their residency. But what I could do is I could pull myself away from the situation because I know that the energy and or the behavior that we presenting around that person is not good for their health. So I'm going to just leave this alone. I'm a fall back. I'm a fall back. Of course, I want this person to stay healthy and to be healthy, but I got to fall back. I got to do that. I got to fall back because I don't want them to not be healthy based around a decision I'm making, based off environment. Because it's little things when you got to recover from something physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically. It's little things like that. Your environment, that to others, that ain't really nothing. No, I mean, you strong enough, but that person, mind, ain't strong as it used to be. Definitely when you go through something physically and you get sick. That's why environment becomes so important. Can't control what others may do outside the environment, but inside that environment, got to do what's right for the person that's recovering. And sometimes you might have to cut out and cut off certain things that you even do in your own life. Because now the responsibility shifts your way for that person to get back healthy. And of course, they might not be able to get back as healthy as they was. That's not the point. The point is to see them back healthy, you might have to do things that you don't want to do. So that's why it's important to not want to take on the responsibility of like, yeah, I'll do it. I got it. And then now you got to take on the responsibility on a daily basis. Some days you might not be able to go to work. And if you got your own family and your own kids, or you got a husband or you got a wife, you might not be able to put in as much work and time with them because now you got to tend and fend to that loved one or that responsibility. And now you got to sit down and have that conversation with them. That's your husband. You sit down like, look, let me talk to you. Yo, I got to really be there for this loved one. I might not be able to cook as much. I might not be able to be as active with the kids as much. Vice versa, if it's your wife, you like, I might not be able to do what I used to do on a daily basis because I got to be there for this loved one now. And I've never been through this as a person that got to be there. So it may take extra time, extra money, extra effort, extra energy, where I might not have time to do the things we used to do. So that's why it's important before you say, I got it, I got it, I got it. I'm going to step up. I'm going to be there. That's why it's important before you say that to weigh the pros and the cons of it. Like, okay, this is the pros. I know I love this person. I want to be there. And that's good that you want to be there. However, now you got to think about what's going to come with that. Because it's a lot of responsibility that come with that. Don't just do it because it's like, yeah, I want to do it because I don't want nobody to take advantage of my loved one, which is a good thing. However, now you got to be the one to bear the responsibility of that now. And you might have to do it in your personal space, or you might have to be in an unwarranted space, like if they got to go to a facility, or they might still be in a hospital for X amount of time to recover before they get placed to the facility or come back to you where you stand in your personal space. So weigh that. I understand we don't want our loved ones in hospitals or in facilities, but however, you got to think about what come with that. Now you got to take on a responsibility every day, or you got to take on responsibility more than you believe you would have to. So now you got to have that conversation with a loved one. Got that conversation and understand this is what come with that now. Ain't nothing personal. This is what come with it. And you got to be ready You got to be fully invested in that. And once you wave, you like, nah, I ain't gonna be fully invested. Leave it alone. That don't mean that you don't love that person. It's just you really learned that you have to be fully invested in it. Fully invested. Even the paid professionals that get paid, they not even fully invested because they understand that it's not as simple as it seems, look, or appear to be. It's not that simple for you to just say, okay, this person's sick, they're recovering from this. I got it. And again, for a lot of people, they do it because they don't trust the facilities or the nurses or the doctors. That's respected. However, you got to learn now as the person that's saying, I got it, the responsibility that come with it. Like it might be perks, but it's still more work than perks that come with it. And some people only think about the perks and not the work. Like, all right, well, if I take this on, okay, I'm gonna be able to get this. It's like, but you got to put in the work though. Are you ready to put in that work that's gonna come with having to be there for somebody that you love or allegedly love when they get sick and they got to recover? Because it's a lot of work that come with that. It's a lot of work that come with that. It ain't just something easy where it's like, nah, I got this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that come with it. So are you mentally prepared for the work that come with that? Like I said, I'm speaking from experience. I've dealt with this with loved ones. And I've been dealing with loved ones that had to deal with it. So for example, if it was an honor, somebody I had, my cousin who had to ride it out every day, they had to be at the hospital or they had to go to a facility or they said, yeah, I'm gonna take my moms or my pops or my grandmas back to where I live at. Now they got to deal with this every day where it's like they got to rearrange their household or they got to rearrange their schedule or they can't put in as much time with their own kid or with their own husband or with their own wife. And it's like, damn, I didn't really realize all this. I was going to have to put in all this work. And after a while, it kind of became overbearing for them. And it wasn't that they didn't love the person. They just didn't realize how much work was going to have to come with what they got to do, because it ain't simple to be there for someone and they not physically right no more. Where it's like, okay, at the end of the day, they bowels may be weak. It's like you got to clean that up. Okay, if it ain't that, they got to switch up their diet. So now you got to prepare meals for them. And you got to remember when you prepare something for yourself that they can't have the salt intake that you can have or the sugar intake that you can have. You got to constantly remember that. They can't eat fried foods or whatever's going to come with the situation. And not everybody could do that. Wise warriors, not everybody's ready for that. Wise warriors, everybody's not ready for that. That's a whole nother ball game when we talk about phase 2 of this thing. You become a wise warrior. Are you ready to deal with that on a daily basis? Should it get to that point? Not only for a loved one, but for yourself. In particular, for a loved one, though. Because no matter how smart you think you are, now you got to be strong. Or no matter how strong you think you are, you got to be intelligent. So now you got to be able to deal with both things. So you could be strong in a situation. However, are you going to be intelligent as well? And you could be intelligent. You got to be strong. And not everybody's prepared for that. And should that be the case, understand, don't take on the burden or the responsibility. Because it's a lot. It's not simple. It's a lot. To say, okay, yo, no, I got it. And then when it's time to have it, you might have it. And then you like, all right, well, I know my husband gonna help me, or I know my kids gonna help me, or I know my wife gonna help me, or I know I could call cousin so-and-so, or aunt so-and-so, uncle so-and-so. They gonna help me. And it's like, they tell you that, and then when it's time for the rubber to meet the road, they like, nah, I ain't got time to do that. You're like, hold on, but you said you would help me. It's like, yeah, but I just started doing this, or I got to commit to this, or I ain't got time. So you may have the time and the effort and the energy to put in. They may not. So all that, you got to consider all of that. Somebody will tell you something until they got to consistently put up or shut up now. It's time for them to put in that work like you. So it could be a loved one, because I don't want to put that on nobody, loved one, but it could just be a loved one. It's like, okay, your wife said she was going to help you all the time, or your husband said he was going to ride it out. And it's like, now they can't ride out. Your kids said, nah, I'm going to help out. Then they don't help out. Or your job said, no, we'll give you this much time off. And then they like, no, but you ain't got this much PTO. We can't do that. And it's like, well, damn, the people that said they would be there and help me ride this out, they not helping me ride this out. And that could cause now mental stress, mental fatigue, where it's like, hold on. Nobody willing to help me. My job, they ain't going to be there the way they said they would. My family ain't going to be there the way they said they would. My kids don't want to help me. And it's like you feel alone having to ride something out for that loved one or for a loved one. So that's why I'm stressing, Wise Warriors, phase 2. It's not simple, because even if it ain't for a loved one, what about for yourself? You just living your life and anything can happen. Car accident, anything can happen. And now you got to readjust to how you was living every day. You got to be mentally prepared for that. And you could be mentally prepared for it, but not physically. Then you could be physically prepared for it, not mentally. So it's not going to be simple, Wise Warriors. That's why Wise is in front of the warrior, because you got to have the integrity and the intellect. Because a lot of people are strong physically, but mentally you got to be stronger, because the pain starts in the brain first and foremost. Before go and travel anywhere else, it's in the brain first. So phase 2, Wise Warrior, is not just going through the process of recovering from something, but putting in the work, not only with a loved one, but for yourself and with yourself. Because those loved ones may be like, I love my sister, I love my brother, I love my wife, or I love my husband, I love my kids, but I can't do all of that. And now you might be left alone to recover. And now once you make it through the surgery or the operation, the doctors and nurses may say, okay, you could go home now. And now that you're home, like I said, now you home, how you going to deal with the environment where if you was the breadwinner, for example, it's like, hey, people expect you to go right back to work to earn that money to keep the mortgage payments up or to keep the car payments up or whatever you was contributing into that household. It's like the water bill, light bill, whatever it was. It's like, but now you can't go back to work for, hypothetically speaking, 6 months, a year. So now what? So now people that was like, yeah, I know my mom's is good or my pops is good, but they ain't got no income coming in. So now that may stress you, because it's like, damn, but I got to put in this work. These bills is piling up. That may stress you. That may get you back sick again. That's what I'm saying, Wise Warriors. It ain't simple. It sounds simple and it looks simple until you in it, until you engulfed in the situation. So that's what I said, phase 2 of this matters. And it's important. It's strategically important, because like I said now, the responsibility of this ain't simple. Because like I said, okay, even if you wasn't the breadwinner, let's just say you're the person like that bring the structure and stability aspect. Now, that ain't there. Because you gotta get back healthy. So okay, you're not the breadwinner, okay, fine. But now the structure and stability, that ain't gonna be there. Because you gotta get back healthy. You was the person like, I'm gonna make sure this house stay clean or this apartment stay clean. Or I'm gonna make sure everybody do what they gotta do. You the voice of reason. You like making sure the kids get to school on time. You making sure everything is right. Like people listen to you. You could be the authority figure in the situation, but you're not healthy. So it's various different circumstances and situations that come with that. And now, when it's time to pay attention to it on a daily basis, you're starting to see now. It ain't just a 1, 2, 3 process. So if you're not that in tune with what's going on in the world, when you hit with something catastrophic like that, at least that adjustment won't be that strenuous. Because it's like, man, I wasn't really focused on what be going on in the world, society like that anyway. So for me to have to adjust to this is nothing. It's nothing. So you wasn't really dealing with the world and society like that anyway. So when someone, a loved one, go through some, or yourself go through something catastrophic, it's nothing for you to already be somewhat ready to adapt. You got like 25 to 30% of your mentality ready to adapt anyway, because you wasn't that caught up. That's why I say, wise warriors, I'm not on no websites. That would help. Something catastrophic happen with myself or with a loved one. At least I ain't got to be worrying about checking the gram. At least I ain't got to worry about being on Facebook. At least I ain't got to worry about none of that. I'm not dealing with that anyway. So that's less distractions I got to worry about if something catastrophic happened physically with myself or with a loved one. Like, I ain't got to worry about that anyway, because I wasn't dealing with that. So that's one less distraction, or 2 or 3 less distractions that I got to worry about coming into the situation. So now, not only for myself, but for a loved one, if I got to ride something out, if I got to be at a bedside for 6 months straight, at least I ain't got to worry about those things being a distraction. I ain't got to worry about that. And I ain't got to explain nothing. I'm saying you ain't been on Facebook, you ain't been on Instagram, what's going on? Now, you may not want to disclose that information. You may not want certain people to know a loved one is sick or a loved one is recovering from something. And since I ain't on that, I ain't even got to worry about having that conversation. I ain't even got to worry about, my aunt was sick, or my pops, or my mom's, or my girl, or my kid. I ain't even got to explain none of that, because I wasn't dealing with it anyway. I ain't going to be missing things that's on the internet, because I wasn't that caught up in it for me to miss it anyway. Like, yo, let me catch up. Nah, let me get focused on myself or this loved one that's going through something, because physical health is serious. Anything can happen at any given moment. And like I said earlier, because I see a few new people tapping in, age ain't got nothing to do with this. Gender ain't got nothing to do with this. Nationality ain't got nothing to do with it. When somebody gets sick, they get sick. It's just that. We want them to get back healthy. And we might have to be one of the people that we least expected to put in the work. Or we get sick now, we don't know what's yet to come if we never experienced this before. Somebody says, yo, you got high blood pressure. You don't know the steps you got to take with the medication and so on and so forth, the doctors you're going to have to go to, the specialists you're going to have to see. It's a new experience. So at least if you're not dealing with unnecessariness, that's less things you got to worry about. Because now you're going to be like, man, I ain't worried about no Instagram. Man, I ain't worried about no Facebook. Man, I got to get healthy. You know what I'm saying? And now you worried about getting healthy. So it's like, so why not take that approach anyway? I'm taking that approach anyway, because it don't mean nothing. I'm not saying that people don't know, but those websites don't mean nothing. That's what I'm saying. And I'm focused on that already, wise warriors. So if something already happened, being in phase 2, you have to prepare yourself, prep yourself for that. Something physically, catastrophically can happen at any given moment. You could be doing everything right. Everything. You could be doing everything right, and something physically catastrophic can happen. So now what, wise warriors? What you faced with? Oh, damn, I ain't even know this would happen. Of course not. We can't predict the future. We don't know what's going to happen. However, wise warriors, when you already in the mentality from what I said on phase 1, now you at phase 2, something physically catastrophic can happen That's just life. But now you're already mentally prepared for it. Mentally prepared for it. So now the strength aspect of it, you could work on getting that together, or you physically prepared for it, the mental aspect you get together. But if you ain't prepared for it physically or mentally, you way behind the 8 ball now, way behind. And you don't know how much work you're going to have to put in, whether that's with a loved one or for yourself. And that's just facts. So why come into the situation already behind? Because of the internet, or because of the world, or because of wanting to keep up with things and people? That's how it come. Don't come into the situation behind when you could already be focused on it. You could already be in tune with it. You could already have that mentality like, nah, I'm focused, man. I ain't trying to get myself caught up. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to be in tune. It's no time like the present. The present. Get focused on it. See, the thing, wise warriors, that's real about what I'm saying is death don't care. Sickness don't care. Cancer don't care. Diabetes don't care. Liver disease don't care. Cataracts don't care. It don't care. It ain't gonna say, yo, no, I'm only gonna let you be sick for 2 days, 2 months, 2 years. Cancer don't care. AIDS don't care. Lung disease don't care. It don't care. And the longer you take, the more medication you're gonna have to be on. And the harder it's gonna be for your body to fight off those germs, to fight off those infections. That's one thing, wise warriors, that I appreciate about what I'm bringing today. Disease don't care. It ain't gonna say, nah, I'm worried about how your loved one's gonna react to this. I'm worried about how your kids gonna view this. They don't care. Disease don't care. People going through this every single day. Disease don't care. Ain't like, nah, I care about this person. This person's been a good person their whole life, so I don't want to infect them. Disease don't care. Disease ain't like us, wise warriors. Disease ain't a person. It don't care what immune system it affects. It don't care about that, unfortunately. But it's just facts. It doesn't care. It don't care who get infected. That's why it's called disease. That's why it's called sickness, because it doesn't care. It have no feelings like we do. It ain't gonna say, no, I'm just gonna keep you sick for a couple hours. Nah. If it have its way, it won't take people out. So have your way and be prepared for it. Mentally, spiritually, physically. The things that's going on ain't relevant. But I guarantee this, wise warriors, when someone or yourself gets sick, you'll cut everything off and out. Then why wait for that? See, I ain't waiting for that because I understand it's catastrophic. It's serious. It can happen at any given moment. And it's not just with sickness. It's with things in life. Like I say, you could be minding your business, doing everything you got to do. Some catastrophic could take place. And now you got to look back at it and look back on it like, I ain't know this would happen to me. Leonardo, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it. Thanks for tapping in, buddy. So at the end of the day, sickness don't care. They ain't going to say, you know what? Nah, this person been good their whole life. We ain't going to get them sick. Nah, we can't control that. We can't control that. And I embrace that, wise warriors. It's time to accept that. That's why I said when I do this phase 2, I know people probably thought I was going to go a whole nother round with it. But nah, it's time for us to really do what we do, wise warriors. This is important. This is catastrophic. It matters. It matters. This ain't something just like, whatever. Disease don't have an age. It don't have a nationality. It don't have a gender. It don't have a genre. It just know how to get people sick. That's all it know how to do. It's like when a storm comes. It just know how to wreck homes, wreck lives, and wreck houses, wreck property. A storm ain't like, nah, they've been good people, so you know what? We a tornado. We ain't gonna blow this house down. We ain't gonna damage this car. We ain't gonna mess up this property. That tornado don't know that. Disease don't know that. Wise warriors, come on. Like, let's get it in. Let's get focused. Let's stop playing with it. Some people take it lightly. I've been stopped doing that because I get it. I had to learn. This is experience talking. This is experience talking. It's not like getting told somebody won't be able to talk again, be able to walk again, be able to see again, be able to touch again. So when you at phase 2, remember, wise warriors, you can't be caught up in I need a better car. I need more clothes. There's people out here that need a liver. There's people out here that need a kidney. There's people out here that need vision. There's people out here that need hearing aids. But I get it. I get it. You got to be focused on the material thing and not the mental things no more, and not the physical things no more. Let's be focused on, I need a diamond ring. I need a chain. I need some Gucci. I need some Jordans. I need to go to the club. I need a bottle. I need some weed. I need a better woman. I need a better man. That's not as relevant as needing a lung, needing a kidney, needing a liver transplant. It's hundreds of thousands of people on those lists waiting for that. But there's also hundreds of thousands of people waiting to get in the club. There's also 100,000 people complaining about how they need a better car or a better relationship or a better house. Ask those people who on the list waiting for them that liver or that kidney. Would they want to be in your situation? With a house already? With a woman already? With a man already? With some type of money to eat? Nah, I don't want to eat this. Nah, I'm tired of my man. Nah, I'm tired of my girl. They tired of waiting for a body part. They tired of being sick. They frustrated with it. They tired of it. Oh, nah, but that don't mean nothing. I'm just talking. I'm just up here ranting. Nah, wise warriors, I'm up here being realistic. I'm up here being organic. I'm up here being natural. I'm up here being focused on reality, because it is reality. Because there's hundreds of thousands of people on waiting lists for organs every single day. Every single day. But remember, wise warriors, there's people out here that's waiting to get in the club. There's people out here waiting for a singer to drop the next song or the next video. And it's like, oh, I'm saying we're not supposed to have entertainment and enjoy ourselves. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, though, it's not as important as paying attention to what you need to be focused on, wise warriors. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Those things ain't going to help you from phase 1 to phase 2. Oh, it's going to be hundreds of phases that we got to go through, wise warriors. hundreds of phases. We only on phase 2. That's all we only on phase 2. So go ahead and wait for those other things that don't mean nothing. Wait for that next actor you like to drop that movie. Don't really mean nothing. Wait for that next singer or rapper to drop a song. What does it really mean? What does it really mean? Oh, you want to entertain your brain? Go ahead. I'm entertaining my brain by paying attention to what matters, by doing homework and research. I don't care who criticizes me. Do that. No problem. I'm never going to criticize people. I'm criticizing what needs to be paid attention to, wise warriors, not people. What needs to be paid attention to. Because like I said, it's 100,000 people on a waiting list for an organ or for a body part. Hundreds of thousands. And they'll tell anybody in a heartbeat, man, I ain't got time to be worrying about no car note. When I get up out of here, I may not even be able to drive no more. But don't matter, I made it home. I may not be able to ever eat chicken again, or steak again, or turkey again, or hamburgers or fries. Don't matter, I'm home. I made it up out of here. I made it up out of here. That's the point. That's the point, wise warriors. That's why making it from phase to phase, going down your journey is so important. But that's why I stress your path is different. Can't take someone else's path. Someone else can recover from something and you say, well, they recovered. I'm taking the same medication. Why I ain't getting better? Because your path ain't their path. Your journey ain't their journey. That's how come. It's not. It will never be. It will never be. No matter what they tell you, no matter what they say, it will never be. So the notion of, I don't got to be focused on that, you're a wise warrior. You have to. You have to. It's not optional any longer. You have to. It's important. To become a wise warrior, it's going to be some very catastrophic phases and stages you have to endure to get there. And this is one of them. Oh, I get it. It's just supposed to be easy to get there. Nope. Nope. It's levels to this. A lot of different stages and phases we got to go to and through, wise warriors, to get there. I'm still going through a lot of phases and stages, but I embrace them every day and I appreciate it. I'm excited to go through them. I'm excited. I'm loving the fact that I got to go through them. And I'm also appreciating the fact that it's destined for me to go through them. It's destined for me to go through them. I appreciate it. So I know when things catastrophic happen, how to deal with it. How to deal with it. Instead of me not having no experience and breaking down and panicking. Like, man, tired of going through this. It's like tired of going through something. And it's like my body give out on me. I'm a wise warrior. My body not going to give out on me. And should my body want to give out on me, it's going to send me signs. It's going to talk to me and let me know. My body going to talk to me and let me know. Because I'm a wise warrior. So my body going to let me know, nah, we ain't going to be able to fight this off. And now I'm a know that. And now mentally, I could adjust to it. I could adjust to it. That's how come wise warriors at times we hear when some people pass on. They say they were surrounded by family and friends because their body already talked to them and let them know. They like, nah, you know what? Round everybody up or round up these people here, and they let them know, look, my time very limited. I just wanted everybody around me so my spirit and my soul could rest. That's all. And some people just give up because mentally and or physically wise warriors, they wasn't preparing or prepping themselves for it. So it's like, they just gave up. Their body just like, nah, I'm gonna give out. Mentally, they gave out. Spiritually, they ain't want to go through it no more. I'm telling you, wise warriors, pay attention to some people mentally, physically, and spiritually, how they fight off and fight through. And when they're unable to fight off or fight through, how their body let them know. Their mind concedes, their spirit accepts. It's like, nah. Because wise warriors, they body talks to them, they mind let them know, and their spirit lets them know. And what they do, they speak it verbally to loved ones and say, now I know my time limit, but I just want everybody around. And they'll say their final piece to everybody. Let everybody know they love them, do what they gotta do. And some of the loved ones be shocked, like, oh, they was talking. The next thing you know, or they was here the day before and they talked to us, they held our hands and yada, yada, yada. And then they wasn't here no more. Because they might not have embraced it, but that was a wise warrior. That was somebody that was prepared. They prepped themselves mentally, physically, spiritually. They prepped themselves. See, when you're a wise warrior, you prep yourself. And you stay prepping yourself because you know how this thing go. You know how it's going to play out. And you know that this thing physically is temporary. But spiritually, you know it's everlasting. You know it's everlasting because the impact we're going to have as wise warriors is going to be everlasting spiritually, mentally. Physically, you know, all right, well, I'm on borrowed time anyway. But spiritually, this is everlasting. It ain't forever, but it's everlasting, though. Big difference. It ain't forever, but it's everlasting. See, that's the difference, wise warriors. That's why you cannot cheat this. You have to take the steps. There's no cheating this. Got to take the steps and be ready and prepared. Know yourself. Know yourself. Self-control, self-respect, self-discipline, self-awareness, self-esteem, self-confidence. Because like I said, every day, all day, it's hundreds of thousands of people waiting for organs. Waiting for organs. And they'll tell anybody else, you want to trade places with me? Because you were just saying how you tired of eating the same food. You telling yourself, you tired of being around family and friends, or you tired of being in this relationship, or you tired of this job. I'm tired of waiting for an organ. I'm tired of laying in this hospital bed. I'm tired of not being able to digest food. I'm tired of this catheter. Tired of always taking these pills or this medication. Tired of seeing doctors and nurses all day, every day. When you tired of the same thing on the internet, when you tired of eating the same food, when you tired of being around the same family members, I'm tired of waiting on an organ. I'm tired of seeing doctors every day. I'm tired of taking this medication. See, that's the difference, wise warriors. That's the difference. That's why the stages and phases we're about to go through, only the wise warriors going to be able to accept and embrace this moving forward. Other people, I appreciate them because they're going to come along for the ride, but only the wise warriors are going to be able to embrace this. They're going to be able to embrace it because they're going to interpret and accept and embrace what it's about. To know on a daily basis, take nothing for granted, appreciate everything. Appreciate peace, appreciate solitude, appreciate a meal. Be humble, show gratitude. Don't gossip, don't spread rumors. Ignore drama. Don't feed in the headaches. Appreciate yourself. Every day is a holiday. Every day is a birthday. Every meal is a feast. Every piece of clothing is just as important as another piece of clothing. Any vehicle is important. Any means of transportation is helpful. That's the difference, wise warriors. Everything is appreciated. Not some things, not certain things, everything. Not some things, not certain things, everything. Because nothing's taken for granted. Nothing's taken for granted. Because like I said, it's hundreds of thousands of people waiting for organs. And another thing, wise warriors, that I appreciate, that's all over the planet. That's all over the planet. That ain't just an America thing. It's all over the planet. It's everywhere. People looking for organs all over the planet. That's just not an America thing. That's just not a nationality thing. That's just not a gender thing. It's just not that. That's why, wise warriors, we don't limit things to just those things. Because what happened when we just focus on a particular nationality or particular gender? So that means that person shouldn't be eligible to get a kidney or a liver or a lung or have surgery or have an operation. So that's why, wise warriors, don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. I'm not going to care, wise warriors. Should I need a transplant? Who gave it to me? Oh, I don't want that from them. I don't want that from them because they're this, they're that. I need it. I need it. I need that. So I'm going to restrict myself because I'm already restricting myself because I'm like, well, they not black, so I don't want their lung. I don't want their kidney. Don't matter who it come from. They're not white, so I don't want their kidney. I don't want their lung. They're not Jewish. I don't want their kidney. I don't want their lung. They're not Asian. Nah, that don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. I need it. I need it. Let me get that. I appreciate it. Highly appreciate it. Because I'm looking to get back healthy. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm looking to get back healthy. So why does it matter? Like I said, Wise Warriors, that's why we don't do that. That's why we don't do it, because when you do it, all you're going to do is end up restricting yourself. You're going to end up doing that till you in a situation. Then you're going to be like, man, nah, I just need it. It don't matter where it come from, who it come from. I need it. And now, Wise Warriors, you can't walk it back when you say, but I'm saying is this person is this. If you stuck on a gender or a nationality, it's like, okay, well, now you're restricting yourself again. Because let's just say, okay, you Asian, and you only want it to come from an Asian person, you don't care who it come from. You be like, man, they got a kidney, I need that. So if you Caucasian, you only want a kidney from a Caucasian person? No, you're gonna be like, don't matter. You black, you only want a lung from a black person, you ain't gonna care who it come from. You ain't gonna care. You a man, you okay, if you can't get another kidney from another man, you ain't gonna want it from a woman? Nah, I'm good. That's why gender, nationality don't matter to me, because I always had to live through and with something, and it's like, but in this situation, that don't hold no bearings at all. I'm not saying it don't matter, but in crucial situations, it don't even matter. When your life is on the line and you need a body part, that don't matter. Wise Warriors, it doesn't matter. See, somebody gonna say I'm saying, but you ain't say all that. Shouldn't have to say that. Get focused. It doesn't matter. You need that. You need it. It don't matter. Don't matter. You need it. That's what's relevant. That's what's relevant. You need that. That's all you're gonna be thinking about. Getting that because it's needed. Like, man, what? Nah, man, I need this kidney. It don't matter who give it to me. But if you restrict yourself and say, well, this group of people don't like my people, that group of people don't get along with my people, you might not even make it because you restricted yourself. You might come out of nowhere. No, I'm saying I'll give it to you now. I don't want it from you. I don't want it from you. What? Nah, let me get that. Let me get that. I appreciate it. I sincerely do. I need that. That's why, Wise Warriors, we don't do that, because we're not going to restrict ourselves. Don't restrict yourself. Don't limit yourself from something that you may need, but you worrying about a gender or genre or nationality, and you need something like a body part or a transplant. You're like, no, but I'm saying they're not Asian. I don't want that. They're not Jewish. No, I don't want that. They're not Caucasian. No, I don't want that. No, they're not black. I don't want that. No, they're not Hispanic. No, I don't want that. All right, no problem. Okay. You don't want it then. Not an issue. I'll take it though. I'll take it. I'll take it. Let me get it. It don't matter if it helped me live 3 more days, 3 more hours, 3 more seconds. I'll take it. Let me get it. Let me get that. Thank you. I'll be like, no, I don't want that. Look who it came from. It's coming to me. That's how I look at that. That's how you look at that, Wild Warriors. It's coming to you. You need that. You got Some people, wise warriors, they don't even want to give you $1, a quarter, something to drink, something to eat. You mean to tell me you got a person willing to give you a body part? Now that's sacrifice. Now that's sacrifice. Those are wise warriors. Those are wise warriors. They're wise enough to separate themselves from the situation and say, but they need a kidney, they need a liver, they need a lung, they need a blood transfusion. Also, wise warriors is wise warriors that are not with us any longer, who donated body parts for these type of situations. Those are wise warriors as well. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Those are wise warriors as well. Do not get it twisted. Those are wise warriors. That's facts. That's facts. And that's what I'm talking about. That's how that goes. Those are wise warriors because they get it. They get it. They're not going to sit here and ignore that. I'm going to be like, nah, I'm going to do what I got to do. No, this is important. This matters because it does. It matters. 100%. It matters. 100%. It matters. When you want to restrict yourself, you ain't going to never know it matter. Because you're restricting yourself. Ain't no need to do that. No need to do it. Don't restrict yourself. For nothing to nobody. Nothing to nobody. Period. Ain't nothing to nobody. That's what's going on, wise warriors. Nothing to nobody. That's it. Nothing to nobody. Don't matter who it is, what it is. That's how that go. Nothing to nobody. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who, what, when. Don't even worry about it. When you need that body part, that's what's going on. You're going to want it. You ain't going to be thinking about, now I'm saying, you need that. You need it, period. When you need it, you need it. And organ donating is a serious thing. It's crucial. It's catastrophic. But again, when you're not focused, you're not paying attention, you don't see it that way. Because it don't affect you. So it's like, whatever. It ain't nothing. It's a lot. It ain't affect you, so it's like, whatever. Till you in a situation. So like I said, wise warriors, phase 2 of this thing is wise warriors are people who willing to either have survived some catastrophic physically or those who have passed on and donated body parts, donated organs. Those are wise warriors. I understand they're not with us, but they still wise warriors because they was willing to sacrifice. They thought about it. They like, I know I won't be here one day, but you know what? I'll donate my body parts. So if somebody in distress, they may need a liver, a heart, a kidney. At least now I donate my body parts, I can help somebody else live longer. And that's how you supplant a spiritual and a mental legacy, by donating body parts. Because now you're giving life or allowing someone to live longer and have life longer. That's a sacrifice. That's what I'm talking about, wise warriors. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. Ask somebody who need a body part. Will they want money or that body part? They'll be like, man, they could be a billionaire. They give up all that money for that body part. Be like, man, I need that kidney. I ain't worried about this money. I need that liver, man. I ain't worried about this money. I need that lung. I ain't worried about this money. They're not going to care about none of that other stuff but that body part. So no matter what you bring up, see, that's the thing, wise warriors, that I appreciate about where I've been through, where I'm at, and where I'm going. See, when you're not in the matrix, things of that's just chitter-chatter, the clown show, you like, man, that don't mean nothing. Because you learn that when you get to that point and now you the person that need a body part or organ, you ain't worrying about nothing else no more. Money don't mean nothing. Clothes don't mean nothing. Relationships don't mean nothing. Nationality don't mean nothing. Gender don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing no more, because it's like, man, I need a kidney. You don't care who's gonna get it to you. Wise warriors, people that don't have nothing better to do, they're gonna dispute this and debate this. This ain't enough for discussion. This ain't enough for debate. It's wise warriors that have survived catastrophic things physically that are still amongst us, that may be willing to tell a story or have told the story or telling the story. However, it's wise warriors that are not here, that sacrificed, that gave up body parts. That's what I'm talking about. Like, yo, here, I'm going to donate this. Somebody may need this kidney. Somebody may need this lung. Somebody may need this liver. Those are wise warriors. And that's what I mean by wise warriors. When I say they know who I'm speaking to, because they know. It's our time. It's our time. Like I said, wise warriors, I know some people that's making this transition, or some people that's focused on becoming a wise warrior probably thought phase 2 would be totally different. No. Phase 2 is learning, being prepared to have to deal with something catastrophic physically, whether that's you or a loved one going through it, or you already went through it, or a loved one already went through it, or may be going through it. You have to be mentally and physically prepared, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no running around it. There's no avoiding it. Can't just ignore it. So it don't matter how many followers you got online, how many likes you get, how many videos you post. None of that got nothing to do when you need that body part. can have 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers, 1 million or whatever. Let's see what somebody say. Yeah, I'll give you a kidney. It could be somebody that got 10 followers, and out of them 10, somebody say, I'll give you a body part. Quicker than somebody that probably got 1 million. Because they are a wise warrior. They get it. They get it. They get it. That's what I said. Everybody ain't destined to become or be or even ready to be a wise warrior. They may say, yeah, I'm a wise warrior too. They may say that. But it's work that come with that. It's sacrificing that come with that. You got to be selfless. And you got to be holding yourself accountable and be ready for the scrutiny and the criticism and I told you so's and the finger pointing. Because people going to ridicule you because they learning you're a wise warrior. Ain't too many people like you on the planet left. There's billions of people on the planet. It may be 1 million wise warriors. It may be 1 million out of a billion, billions of people. It may be 1 million wise warriors though. And they scattered everywhere. They scattered everywhere. One thing I know for certain, they're going to sacrifice. See, they sacrifice is quiet. While people want to ridicule them loud in public, they being celebrated quietly for their success. And they accept that because that's a part of being a wise warrior. Publicly, everybody going to ridicule them and look to embarrass them loudly. But in quiet, they don't mind people celebrating them and giving them their flowers. They don't mind. They don't care about it. They don't mind. But they accept that. That's the difference, wise warriors. That's the difference. They're not going to look at it like, give me this, that. Nah. That's why I did that video, Wise Warriors, saying, give people their flowers when they're here. And that's to the wise warriors that's willing to sacrifice, that have made sacrifices, that's still going to make sacrifices, and don't want no pat on the back. See, wise warriors learned that when they down, people going to kick them. And when it's time to be lifted up, ain't nobody going to offer them a helping hand. They're just going to get up and keep walking. And not going to be like, damn, I was down, nobody helped me up. Nothing. Don't mean nothing. Because they know they're going to get up anyway. They know that. They learned that. Don't matter. Don't matter. And that's what I'm saying by the phases and steps we got to go through that, wise warriors. It may seem like once you got through phase one, oh, this is light. There's nothing. And another thing I'm going to do, wise warriors, I'm also going to do this on my pre-recorded. It ain't going to be as in-depth as these live streams are, but I'm going to do phase one, my pre-recorded. Phase two, I'm going to do all the phases. But I'm going to do it on a live stream because I know some of the wise warriors be out there just listening. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I know you appreciate me. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. However, though, wise warriors, it's time to rise up. It's time to take our life back. It's time to utilize what we have. That knowledge, the power, the dignity, the honor, the integrity, and push it over to other wise warriors. Because we're going to have a lot of younger and newer wise warriors on the come up. And we got to teach them. We got to show them what to study. Because it's important. And another thing, wise warriors, what makes us us is that we appreciate everything we've been through and we appreciate everything we're going to go through. And we're going to always hold ourselves accountable. We're going to always do that. Because remember, wise warriors, when someone looks to exploit or expose you, you appreciate it because it shows you as a wise warrior, they put more effort and energy onto you and they take effort and energy away from themselves. So that's why we hold ourselves accountable because all we doing, we look at ourselves all the time. It's that simple. That's why the phases we're about to go through into matters. And phase 2 is remember, because I see new people tapping in. Phase 2 is all wise warriors have either been through, experienced something physically, catastrophically. And it's wise warriors that's not here any longer that made the sacrifices physically for other people to be around. They donated body parts, organs, so other people can live. That's phase 2 of being a wise warrior, being mentally and or physically. If you can't do both together, you can't do the mental and the physical together, you either got the mental or the physical aspect together as a wise warrior to accept something catastrophic physically will happen to you or a loved one. And you either mentally or physically prepared for it. And you ready to embrace it. And you ready to embrace it. That's how this thing works. That's how this thing go. Point blank. That's how it works. And it's supposed to work like that. That's how it's supposed to work. See, another thing, wise warriors, we have to accept boring because it's brilliant. We have to accept that. See, I accept that now. I'll be boring, but it's brilliant. This is a brilliant conversation. This conversation is worth having because there's people out there that's going to hear and listen and be like, man, I needed to hear this. Because I'm going to go, when it's all done, I'm going to change the title. I'm going to put phase 2 for the wise words, but I'm going to put other things in the caption. So therefore, those wise warriors that have survived those catastrophic things I talked about physically, they're going to tap in. Or they may still be going through it. Or they may have lost a loved one from going through it. Like, yo, yeah, I'm a wise warrior. I know I survived this. I survived that. I did this. I did that. And they're going to be like, yo, I'm glad this popped up. Or I'm glad I tapped in. Thank you. Or they just going to listen and send it and share it to somebody. Or they're going to listen with other people and be like, yo, see, he knows what's going on. He truly understands the plight of wise warriors. And future reference, wise warriors, what I'm going to need y'all to start doing, start typing WW in the chat. Start putting that in there. All the wise warriors, WW in the chat. Start doing that. WW in the chat. That's how that goes. Because like I said, it's going to be people that's going to say they wise warriors because they want to be accepted and embraced, and they will be. But it's still phases and levels. So there may be in the beginning stages and phases of being a wise warrior. Oh, we're going to embrace them because we embrace and accept everything and everybody. However, it's levels and phases, though. What level are you at with it? In the beginning stages, you're in the middle. You at that what? That 20% stage? You at the 30% stage, the 40, the 50? Where you at with it? 60, 70? Where you at? Where you at? That's going to be the difference, wise warriors. We're going to be able to detect who is certified and who looking to be certified and who is an imposter. Because that's the difference. We're going to be able to detect imposters. Like, nah, that person is a wise warrior. Well, we're gonna embrace them, though. We're going to embrace them. Because ain't nothing wrong with that. Maybe they believe they're wise warrior. They just don't want to be left out. But see, the thing is, though, we're not going to let them cut no corners. We're not going to let them take no shortcuts. That's the difference. They're not going to be able to cut no corners and take no shortcuts. I know they're going to want the perks, but they're going to have to do the work. That's the difference. They're going to want the perks, but they're going to have to do the work. That's how this thing goes. Because, like I said, to become that, phase 2, again, physically, the work you got to be ready to accept and put in when it comes to sickness, physical sickness, any sort of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, a stroke, a heart attack, high blood pressure, hypertension, anything physically. And again, you also have those wise warriors that not only survived those things and made it, some of them willing to share the story, some of them not. But you got the wise warriors that donated organs for other people to still be around to this day. Thank you to those wise warriors. We appreciate that. We appreciate your service to life, to the planet, to civilization, to humanity. Thank you. You set a precedent. You set a precedent for other wise warriors. We thank the fact that you donated organs for other people to survive and make it. You truly set a precedent for wise warriors to fully and totally embrace the fact of what a wise warrior is. That's not here any longer. That's what's going on. That's what means something. The wise warriors that truly sacrifice. And when it was their time to sacrifice, they didn't moan and groan. They didn't say anything. They just did it. They just did it. It's no pat on the back. It's no thank you. They just did it. Like, yeah, no, one day I know I won't be here. Yeah, I'll donate my organs because I know it's other people in the world. It's other wise warriors that's going to need this heart, that's going to need this liver, that's going to need this kidney, that may need some blood, that may need a transfusion. I'm here for that. And the real part about it, wise warriors, it ain't about the money. It ain't about the followers. It ain't about social media. It's about that dignity that I'm talking about. It's about that honor that I'm talking about. It's about the morals that I'm talking about. It's about the values that I'm talking about. This is experience, wise warriors. This is not clout. This is not shares and likes. Because everybody that's going to share body part, they don't even got to know that person or even like them. It's the fact that they need a liver, they need a kidney, they need a lung. That's why, wise warriors, we don't do gender, nationality. We do intelligence. We do honor. We do dignity. We do morals. We do values. So when it's time to sacrifice, again, thank you for all the wise warriors that are not with us any longer. But thank you for setting that precedent of sacrificing a lung, a liver, a kidney, blood transfusion. Thank you. What you done could never be matched. But I'm going to make sure I carry the torch for the other wise warriors that's all throughout the planet Earth. Like I said, it's billions of people on the planet, but it may be a million wise warriors. Maybe. Maybe. And I'm estimating that. Because like I said, it's stages and phases. This is phase 2. This is the physical phase of it, of sacrificing, but also being able to survive or recover from anything physically catastrophically that may have taken place for any wise warrior on the planet. Sickness. And you survived that. You made it through that. You made it through it. Or you rode it out with a loved one that made it through it. You sacrificed job time, family time, children time, money, a home, sanity, strength. You sacrificed that. Like, know what? But this is my loved one. I might have to give up my 401k. I might have to give up PTO. I may have to sacrifice time with my husband or my wife or my kids or my career. But it don't matter. I want to see this person get as healthy as they possibly can or recover from this. Because like I said, it's still stages and phases with that, wise warriors. Okay, now the person is sick or you become sick. Okay, operation and/or surgery. That's the first part. The second part now would be the recovery process, therapy, medication. If you could survive all of that, now the environment you got to go back into to thrive and survive. And there's several different ways to become sick, but there's very few ways to become healthy. That's why it's important, wise warriors, to listen, to learn, and to learn to listen. That's why I say the things I say. I don't say it because it sounds good. No. I say it because it's relevant and it matters. And it's organic. See, what we do, wise warriors, will never go viral. But what we do, we don't want to go viral. You know how come? Because we really know viral infections are real. And people actually lost their life from viral infection. That's why we wise warriors. We see through it. It's hollow. What's relevant and what matters? That honor, though. That dignity, though. The morals, though. The values, though. Phase 2, wise warriors. And for the wise warriors that may see this on the playback, don't forget, you go back and watch phase 1. Now, I'm going to do this on the pre-recordings as well, but it's not going to be this deep in depth. It's just going to be certain little pieces and segments on the pre-recorded. And don't forget, wise warriors, when we do become monetized on this platform, this will be one of those membership things where now the wise warriors could go tap in and just listen. Because I get it. Some of the wise warriors that are still surviving and thriving, and some of them that have survived ain't going to say nothing. They're just going to listen and plan for some other wise warriors that's on the come up. Like, look, see, He's a wise warrior. He know 100% what's going on. That's why also, wise warriors, I appreciate a thing called a timeline. Because when you go back on that timeline, you'll see I stayed the course. I stayed the course. Got to stay the course. Have to do that. I know it's not simple, but that's why you're a wise warrior. Intellect, strength. Intellect and strength. Dignity, morals, values, know-how. Can't always do what you know, wise warriors. You got to know what you're doing. Can't always do what you know. You got to know what you're doing. Wise warriors, we arrived. We here. And now, when we start climbing again, remember, you're coming from the bottom of the ocean where we came from, and you're going to the top of the mountain. You're looking down on the old you, and you're looking up at the new you. We don't look down on people. We look down on the old us, and we look up at the new us. Nobody's our problem. We just got to get out our own way. Nobody's our problem. We just got to get out our own way. See, that's the difference with us, wise warriors. We know nobody else is the problem. We just got to get out our own way. Got to get out your own way. And when you do that, you'll start to see what I said again. You can start to take the journey, and now you'll see that path. And it'll become clearer and clearer because you're out your own way. Can't worry about the people that's going to get in your way. Remember, don't pay attention to things you can't control. And don't allow a dark past to dim or dull a bright future. Don't allow that to happen, wise warriors. That's why it's called the past, for you to get past it. Get past it. Get past it. Let it go so you can grow. That's what's going on. Also, wise warriors, before I close everything out, remember, don't deprive yourself or others. Don't view a portion of the content. View all of the content so you can get all the vitamins and minerals that's due to you. Review all the content so you get all the vitamins and minerals that's due to you. Remember that, wise warriors. Don't settle yourself short. You always view all the content because there's always something to learn. There's always something to teach you. So don't deny yourself or deprive yourself. You don't want to do that. You want to pay attention. And like I said, moving forward to all the wise warriors, the organic wise warriors, the natural wise warriors. When you are in the building, you type WW so I can know that it's an original wise warrior. Because like I said, we're going to have them imposters that's going to come and talk, and we're going to embrace them. We're going to embrace them. They're going to be involved. We're going to embrace them. But the original wise warriors know how we do. It's important. Everybody get embraced. Everybody. So again, wise warriors, don't forget, this was phase 2 of this process. And as you analyze the wise warriors, I don't always look to talk to you guys because I'm still running a platform, but a lot more as of late. See, I've been talking to you guys, and I'm going to be talking to you guys, but I still got to run a platform because it's some people that want to make or looking forward to making a transition, and I still got to talk to them. And remember, everybody's accepted. So I have to make sure that I stay speaking to them and I stay vibing with them. So when they come, wise warriors, and say, I'm ready to make a transition, I'll be there for them. That's why I be telling people now, wise warriors, to email me so we could talk. Because some of them want to do it, but they're a little intimidated. They're a little inferior. Because I'm not going to twist their arm with the fees, with the money aspect. It's just they're a little inferior. And don't worry about it. I'm going to work on that. And after a while, they'll be a lot more comfortable. Not only them emailing me and talking to me, but people they know, people they love, people they gonna be like, nah, I got somebody, I believe you could talk to. And salute, wise words, to all the people who have done it. Wasn't many, but salute to everybody who have done it. You gentlemen and women know who you are. Thank you for, first and foremost, taking me up on the offer. Secondly, believing in me. And again, when you do email, everything is confidential. Everything is secretive and private. I share nothing with no one. But it's just the mere fact for those who have taken me up on the offer. I appreciate it. It meant a lot. It gave me what I needed so I could do what I do with the wise warriors. And that, for me, was needed. Because like I said, moving forward, I'm going to break down every phase and stage of this thing. And like I said, I know it's been a long time coming, but I had to put myself in position. Can't just do something and you ain't in position. So I had to put myself in a position, wise warriors. I get it. And like I said, once I get monetized, I'll have the memberships and for the wise warriors, then I'll have it for my organic 81 day ones. Because I know for the few wise warriors that have been tapping in lately, because I see you guys watching because the analytics are growing. You know what I mean? And I know what it is. You're a little leery. Like before you start really sharing more and subbing up, you really want to make sure. I get it. And I appreciate it, but I get it. Just don't want to sub up and share out. I get it. I get it. However, it's our time. And we're going to do this. We're going to be patient. We're going to have tolerance. And along the way, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Because even though everything is a teachable moment and it's about learning and it's about growing, it's also about having fun. It's like reading is fundamental. So you can get some fun things, some exciting things from reading, from writing, from math. Get some fun. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to get some fun things. We're going to be able to laugh, smile, be like, oh, wow. And then, like I said, for those who want to take the journey, those who want to be like, you know what, damn, I really want to see what's going on. And they're going to want to embrace becoming a wise warrior because it's not meant for everybody. And I had to learn when I was taking my journey and I went down the right path. And I'm like, wow. When I started to learn what it was like to be a wise warrior, it's like in the beginning, it just sounded good. But then when I started to put the work in, it felt good, not emotion. I'm talking about the spiritual aspect of it, the physical aspect of it. It felt good to have to go through the turbulence. It felt good. And I'm thankful that I took it serious. I'm thankful that I was humble. I'm thankful that I embraced it. I'm thankful that I stopped arguing with others and start arguing with myself so I could listen to me, so I could hear the voice in my own brain. I'm happy I started fighting with myself to stop being hypocritical and stop contradicting myself when it comes to me. I ain't worrying about others. And that's the difference with us, wise warriors. That's what we do. That's why nothing means nothing and something means something. It's principle over points. It's facts over feelings. It's confidence over clout. It's growth over gossip. It's going to always be something that seems similar, but it ain't the same. It's humanity over nationality. It's civilization over civilians. It's going to always be like that. It's wisdom over worth. See, what I appreciate, wise warriors, is that everything that you guys are starting to bear witness to me doing a lot more, other people that didn't really know where I was going, starting to see where I'm coming from. And now with that, they got to take some steps forward to catch up. And I'm not even moving quick, wise warriors. Like I said, I pace myself, embrace myself. That's what I do. I pace myself and I brace myself. Wise warriors, I really, truly, truly appreciate you guys. And I'm humbled that we made it to where we are. And we didn't even scratch the surface. We didn't even scratch the surface. But I'm thankful for where we at. I'm thankful. It's gratifying. It's humbling to know patience when it comes to this intellect, this wisdom, this growth is key. It's key. Being loyal to yourself, being honest with yourself. Stop listening to others and start listening to yourself, wise warriors. Go where you celebrate it and not tolerate it. And if you're not celebrated, stay to yourself. And I don't mean celebrate as far as pats on the back and pom-poms. Celebrate it because your frequency is high. Your vibes is right. Your energy level is right. Communication skills is right. Or all those things I just said, you're enhancing them. You're enhancing your vibes. You're enhancing your frequency. You're enhancing your communication. You're enhancing these things. Wise warriors, listen, I'm about to shut this down, but I really appreciate you guys. And I know you appreciate me and what I do. We just scratching the surface. Before I close everything out, this is in closing, wise warriors. Self-respect, self-control, self-confidence, self-respect, self-discipline, self-awareness, dignity, honor, morals. Now, phase 2, wise warriors. You or a loved one, or you've been through with a loved one, having to sacrifice time, money, shelter to make sure that loved one gets back healthy. You put in mental time, spiritual time, physical time, and also, again, a huge thank you and a huge appreciation. My hat goes off to all the wise warriors who are no longer with us that sacrifice, that organ donor, a heart, a lung, kidney, liver, blood, whatever it is. Thank you, wise warriors, for setting that precedent and sacrificing for other wise warriors so we could see what we should do moving forward. All right? So again, thank you for everybody for tapping in. Mar tapped in. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing what you do. Leonardo, thank you, friend. Appreciate it. And to everybody that was out there in the bushes, I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, though. You out there, sub up. All right? So you ain't got to be in the bushes. You'll know I'm live, and you could just sit there and listen. I appreciate your time, effort, and energy as well. You know, to everybody, remember, love yourself, respect yourself, then you can work on loving and respecting others. Peace and power. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay focused. Till next time. Peace, world.